Marriage is a sacred pact between two people who choose to spend the rest of their lives together. But what if one of those people is hiding a horrifying secret? Here are 5 romances that didn't exactly get their happily ever after. Meet Zach MacArthur, a private investigator talking to police after they discovered his friend Taylor Wright's body in a shallow grave. What he doesn't know is that his wife, Ashley MacArthur, is currently the case's #1 suspect. Not only was Ashley the last person to see Taylor alive, but Taylor's body was later found on a farm belonging to Ashley's family, covered in concrete and potting soil.
Do you know anything about this money that Taylor had given you all?
No, absolutely not. She's never given me anything. I've never got anything from that. No.
Okay. Do you know anything about your finances?
No, to be honest. I give her when I work a case or I got a settlement from my attorney, I hand it straight to Ash. She takes care of everything.
The detective is trying to figure out if Zach knows anything about a large sum of money given to Ashley by Taylor shortly before her disappearance. See, Taylor was trying to keep her money away from her ex after a divorce, so she needed it out of her bank accounts. Unfortunately, giving Ashley $34,000 for safekeeping turned out to be the worst mistake of her life. She'd promised Taylor to hide her money securely in a safety deposit box, but instead, she threw the money in her own bank account before using it to pay off her credit card debt and buy her secret lover a motorbike. It's an easy mistake to make, right? But you heard Zach. He claims to have no clue about the finances in his marriage, let alone the $34,000 in question. There's still plenty of useful information that he could have, however, so detectives start questioning him about the crime scene.
The property up on Britt Road,
Mm-hmm.
and that's owned by her aunt and uncle.
Mm-hmm.
Have you ever been out there?
Yeah.
When's the last time you think you were out there?
The last time I went out there is when I traded my four-wheeler for a side-by-side. And that's the last time I've been. Before that, I couldn't tell you.
Zach seems to think that detectives are interested in his ATVs here for some reason. But what's important is that he hasn't been to the farm for months. Detectives quickly change the subject and ask Zach about his phone. This may seem random, but cell phone records ended up playing a vital part in the investigation. See, it's possible to track someone's movements based entirely on their phone activity, since they always connect to the closest cell towers in the vicinity.
Your phone number, the 554 number, do you always keep that on you?
Yeah, I reckon.
Do you ever loan it out to anybody?
No.
Okay.
No.
Would you ever loan it to anybody, or
No.
do you remember Ashley ever using it, taking it with her?
No. Never.
Okay, did it ever get lost or stolen or anything and get replaced?
No, not that I recall.
Cell phone records showed that Ashley was present at the crime scene when Taylor went missing. They also showed that Taylor's phone was at a wedding that Zach and Ashley had attended the next day, although Taylor was nowhere to be seen. Either Taylor showed up at the wedding in an invisibility cloak, or Ashley had taken her phone. This information is worthless unless detectives can establish that Ashley and Zach were both in possession of their own phones and not each other's. After all, there's still a possibility Zach was involved. If so, he could be a potential danger. Detectives turn up the heat on the man. He's been cooperative so far, but he doesn't seem to consider that his wife had anything to do with Ashley's disappearance. It's up to the investigators to determine whether he's merely oblivious or if he's protecting her.
Do you own any 9mm
Yeah.
handguns? What kinds?
A Glock.
Just one or
Yeah. I've got a lot of guns. So, a lot. One Glock 9.
what model?
19.
19? Okay. Do you know how Taylor died?
For Ackerman told me that the girl was shot, and he heard that from Mulchan.
So Ackerman told you and he got it from Mulchan?
Yeah.
Okay. And did he elaborate on anything else?
He just said that they thought the girl was shot.
It's important to remember that Zach is a private investigator, and he also used to work as a cop. He should know what the detectives are implying when they ask him about his firearms, but it's the next question that reveals the true focus of the investigation.
Did you ever buy Ashley a gun or anything of that nature?
Man, over the years, yeah. Yeah. I bought her a 380 one time.
What kind?
PPK.
Okay. And does she carry a firearm?
I haven't seen her one in quite a while. Not at all. Mm-mm.
Do you own a 38
I
airweight?
Yes. And she used to, that's the last thing I ever remember seeing her with was a 38 airweight. And that was, I haven't seen her with that in I don't know how long.
This is the first time that detectives indicate just how much trouble Ashley's in. If they can link her to the weapon used against Taylor, this could be the final piece of the puzzle. It's clear that Ashley had the motive to silence Taylor, since she'd already spent the $34,000 that she stole. Detectives just needed Zach to reveal anything he might know about his wife's actions, so they apply some pressure.
I mean, I'm interested. Did you kill or participate in the death of...
I would
Whatever.
ask this question. Okay. Whatever.
Did you kill or participate, or do you have any knowledge?
Zero, Jason. Absolutely none. I don't want to be nowhere near it, nothing involved with it, nothing. I know nothing about it.
Again, Zach doesn't see the bigger picture, so the detectives decide to drop all pretense and flat out ask him what he thinks happened to Taylor, considering everything he's learned from a career in law enforcement.
But you've read it, so you know at least some of the details. Just based upon that and your knowledge of the job that we do and the job that you used to do, what's your thought?
Feelings aside.
Just logically.
I can't see her doing something like that. I mean, she's super intelligent. You know, she's got a
Master's degree.
Yeah, or is it master's or I don't know, one of the two. And that's just sloppy. I mean, that's sloppy. I can't see her doing that.
Finally, the penny starts to drop. It's interesting that Zach's main objective to the idea that his wife could be guilty is the fact that she's too smart. Not, that she's a good person or anything. Even he doesn't seem to believe that. Ashley MacArthur was buried under a mountain of evidence. The phone records, the bank statements showing her spending the dough, and CCTV footage from a hardware store that showed her buying the cement used to bury Taylor. Whoopsie! She was sentenced to life behind bars with a mandatory minimum of 25 years. As for Zach, well, he might want to find a new career. What kind of private detective doesn't realize that he's living with a violent criminal? Discovering a dark secret about your partner must be terrifying, but Charles Vallow lived through something even worse. His nightmare didn't end when he realized that his wife, Lori Vallow, had become a threat to both him and his two children. In fact, that was only just the beginning. This police body cam footage from January 2019 shows Charles pleading with cops to take his concerns about Lori seriously. The former beauty queen, described by friends as the mother of the year, has taken a dark turn.
So what's going on tonight?
I can't get in touch with my kids.
How old are your kids?
6.5 and 16. She's lost her mind. I don't know how else to say it. She thinks she's a resurrected being and a God, and remember the 144,000. Jesus is coming next year.
So what makes her a danger to herself and to others?
She threatened me, murder me, kill me.
She threatened to murder you?
Yes. She said, "You're not Charles. I don't know who you are, what you did with Charles, but I can murder you now with my powers."
Is this just all recent, or has it been going on?
It's been going on for about 4 or 5 years. It's gotten really, really bad lately. She goes to the temple every day and speaks with Moroni, Jesus Christ. Last couple of days, she says, "I'm not Charles. You're not Charles. You're..."
It's safe to say there's a lot going on here, but Charles is only scratching the surface of Lori's bizarre new beliefs. Lori has been radicalized by the teachings of a cult leader named Chad Daybell. She honestly believed that Christ was set to return to Earth in July 2020. I kind of think I would have remembered something like that happening. To paint a clearer picture of Chad's ideology, here's Melanie Gibbs, one of Lori's closest friends.
So you mentioned zombies.
Yeah.
Was that ever a term that you were exposed to? by then?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Tell me more about the zombie.
She said she had a dream once. An earthquake happened in Utah. People that fell on the earth, if they were able to get rid of all the zombies in the world, then those zombies wouldn't get into those dead bodies and come back. I remember one time she took a map and she's like, okay, here's the United States. We're going to do a prayer. Let's find out how many zombies are in Arizona. Okay, there's 20,000. I don't even remember the numbers, it was so out there. And then she'd say a little prayer, whatever words she'd come up with that she thought were powerful. And then he would check, oh, somebody died. Look, you can come find out. So then that was her way. In my opinion, what I saw, at least, was just through a prayer that these people would pass away.
Melanie tells investigators that Chad's rhetoric about zombies is serious, as well as his theories of ascending to heaven, transforming into an immortal being, and meeting God himself.
I'm a little aware about, and maybe you know or don't know, vibrations.
So vibrations, yes, I'm aware of that too. So according to how he would check, he used that little pendulum thing on. I didn't know that in the beginning, but anyway, 1,000 was supposed to mean, if you got to 1,000, that means you're translated, or you're beginning your translation. And then as you get higher in your vibration, you could portal at some point, maybe, I'm trying to remember what she would say, 2,500, maybe, or something like that. And so the more you went to the temple, your vibration would increase. So it's just like your light would increase, that kind of thing.
Okay.
If that makes sense.
That absolutely does not make sense, Melanie, but thanks for trying. But back to Charles. Now, he eventually managed to get back into his home, but Lori and his 2 children, JJ and Tylee, were nowhere to be seen. The next day, Charles obtained an emergency mental health petition, a legal document that forces a psychiatric evaluation for someone presenting an immediate danger to themselves or others. He also took Lori's purse from her car to try and stop her from escaping again. And when she goes to report it as stolen, she has a different story to tell.
This morning when I took my son to school, he was waiting somewhere and stole my purse out of the car, my whole purse. So my phone, my wallet, my money, my everything was in there.
What is it that motivates him doing this kind of stuff? Does he say why?
I caught him cheating and I had evidence and I told him about it. And he travels a lot for business, so I told him about it and told him not to come home and that his stuff would be gone and that his car would be gone, and it was so he's a little mad.
What's wrong, Lori? You don't want to talk about how the world's ending anymore? Ultimately, police officers convinced Charles to hand over the purse, on the condition that they'd force Lori to undergo a psychiatric assessment. The doctors released Lori in just 2 hours, finding no issues whatsoever. This decision may have effectively ended Charles's life. 6 months later, his body was found in Lori's house with 2 gunshot wounds to the chest. The perpetrator was Lori's brother, Alex Cox, who called the police after an altercation with Charles. His version of events immediately set off some alarm bells.
So you get in an argument? What is it over?
Well, it was over my sister. He was getting physical with her, and so my niece came out with her bat, and he took the bat away from her.
Wait a minute, I thought you said your niece left.
She did. This before.
So before your sister and your niece left,
yeah.
At some point your sister and her husband are arguing.
Yes.
Verbal argument. And then your niece pulls out a bat?
Well, it wasn't verbal. He was getting close, and she came out to defend my sister with her bat.
Your niece?
Yes.
Okay.
And then she poked at him, and he took it away.
Okay.
And then he's coming back at me, and he still got the bat in his hand. I'm like, what are you doing?
And where are you at it? Where are you both
in the
at?
living room.
Okay.
And then I turned around, and he hit me in the back of the head with the bat. I went to my room and got my gun.
So you went to your room, meaning the room you're staying in?
Yeah.
Okay, and you brought a gun with you?
Yes.
You always bring a gun? Okay, why did you stay just in your bedroom and close the door? Is that something you didn't think about? Or?
It didn't even occur to me.
The police officer is obviously skeptical of Alex, particularly when he says it didn't occur to him to simply not shoot Charles. Police decide to interview everyone involved to get a better idea of what happened. Lori's story is filled with red flags from the get-go.
Start where you think it makes the most sense.
Okay, so we moved into this house 3 weeks ago because he offered to get me a house here where all my family is. So we were in Houston. We had decided to separate or whatever. So he's like, well, pay for a house for you and for JJ and whatever, because he's all about JJ. He's never about Tylee, but he's all about JJ. Because we adopted him together. He's his great nephew. We adopted him as a baby. He came when we first moved in and brought me stuff from Houston, like a U-Haul, and then he hasn't been back. But it's all these threats on my phone all the time, you know, like whatever, all these things. And then he told me, what kind of threats? Just, he's always mad at me right here, and he doesn't want a divorce, but I don't like him and don't want to deal with him, so that's just how it is. So we married for 14 years, we dealt with it for 14 years, of him being horrible to her. Like, he gets in huge fights with her, a lot of things.
Aside from the fact that she keeps laughing, the weirdest thing is how long it takes her to discuss the incident. If she can convince the police that Charles is as violent as she says, then her story about that morning will make a lot more sense.
So you thought, and I don't want to put words in your mouth, but you thought it was possible that he was going to hurt you?
Absolutely, he was going to hurt me and Tylee.
Okay.
Not JJ, he never hurt JJ.
Okay.
And he hurt my brother. Yeah.
Lori and Alex's interviews don't quite line up with the physical evidence. For example, medical examiners find that Alex fired the second shot while Charles was already down. It's not self-defense when the other person is on the ground with a bullet lodged in their chest. But somehow, despite a thorough investigation and grueling interview process, including interrogating the kids, Charles's shooting was officially chalked up to self-defense. That is, at least for a while. With Charles suddenly out of the picture, Lori moved her family to Idaho to get closer to that dreamy cult leader she had her eyes on. Yeah, that's right. Lori had been having an affair with Chad Daybell for months. Shortly after Charles was taken out, Chad's wife passed away in her sleep. How convenient. Lori then took full custody of JJ and Tylee, but she was far too busy prepping for doomsday to worry about childcare. On September 8, 2019, Lori visited Yellowstone National Park with her family. This photo is the last time Tylee was seen alive. Police now believe that JJ was eliminated just 2 weeks later, with this photo from the 22nd being the last evidence that he was still alive. In December, Alex also passed away due to natural causes. It seemed being close to Chad and Lori could be fatal. Charles's sister, Kay Woodcock, and her husband Larry got the police to perform a welfare check on JJ, and Lori was given 5 days to prove that JJ and Tylee were alive and well. With the deadline looming, Chad and Lori were approached by a reporter looking for answers, but they hid the disturbing truth.
Lori, Nate Eaton with East Idaho News. Can you tell me where your kids are? Where are your kids? No comment? They've been missing for 4 months. You have nothing to say? Listen, just tell people what's happening. There's people around the country praying for your children, praying for you guys. Why don't you give us answers?
That's great.
On June 9, 2020, almost 9 months since anyone had seen JJ or Tylee alive, a search of Chad's home found their bodies buried in a fire pit and a pet cemetery. Turns out that Alex had been brainwashed too, and he believed that slaying Charles was justified. After all, he was really a demon, right? Lori was given 5 life sentences for conspiracy to commit first-degree murder. In 2025, she chose to represent herself in a second trial focused on Charles's case. Using her incredible legal mind, she managed to earn another 2 life sentences. As for Chad, he was handed a death sentence in 2024. Luckily for them, they ascended to a higher dimension of consciousness, or whatever. Lori Vallow and Charles Daybell's reasoning was a little out there, to say the least. But this next case returns to one of the oldest motives in the book: cold hard cash. Ina Knoyer and Steve Riley struggled to sleep on the night of September 2nd, 2023. After all, the next day promised to change their lives forever, as Steve would finally claim his multi-million-dollar inheritance. The couple were ready to meet a lawyer at the airport who would present the legal documents that granted Steve a $37 million fortune from a long-lost Irish uncle. They planned to pay off their debts and live with Steve's newly discovered family in an Irish castle. Wow, it's like a real-life fairy tale. However, Steve became violently ill at the airport. Ina took him home, but later called 911 to get Steve to a hospital. But it was too late. Steve lost his life. But what on earth happened? Ina claimed that he had suffered a stroke and that he'd been binge drinking for hours. But Steve's friends disagreed. Billy Burkhead claimed that he spent the whole day with Steve working on his truck before heading to the airport. And no, he didn't find his body in the back of it. His theory about Steve's mysterious illness was much more disturbing than anything Ina had said.
We think she poisoned him. Oh, I'm almost sure she poisoned him.
So what's your plan right now?
We're making sure nothing goes. Because you know when they go to jail, they die.
I mean,
People come and clean
how long are you going to stay here?
I'm going to stay here until the sun gets here.
Oh. When's the sun supposed to get here?
He's not dead. I told you.
Stop!
He's not.
He's dead.
I just told the sun.
And he was poisoned.
As you can tell by Ina's screaming, Steve's fate hasn't even been confirmed at this point. Still, Billy suggests that the man has been poisoned. The next day, a toxicology report confirmed that yes, Steve was poisoned with antifreeze. As for Ina, well, she seems to care more about the inheritance when she talks to the police.
The day he was supposed to meet his lawyer, apparently, I thought it was heat stroke. Apparently he was poisoned. I'm finding out. With antifreeze.
Alright.
And I don't know how to get a hold of the guy in London with his inheritance. He should be here in town.
Ina doesn't offer any alternative theories about who was responsible for Steve's poisoning, and she quickly becomes the focus of the investigation. One of Steve and Ina's neighbors, Rebecca, is brought in to shed some light on what their relationship might have been like behind closed doors.
You guys know my daughter?
Kayla? Yeah, how's she doing?
Yesterday, God works in mysterious ways. She was arrested, released. She said this is the demons that are in her, the spirits that follow her, was able to change her butt cheeks. So maybe they'll stop following her now, she said.
Yeah, well, hopefully she gets the help she needs.
I pray she does.
Wait a minute. Did she just say that demons were in her daughter's butt? Rebecca, have you been talking to Lori Vallow? Obviously, weird statements like that make it hard to believe Rebecca's information. But police aren't here to investigate demons. They just want to find out what Rebecca knows about Steve's death.
How long have Steve and Ina lived there that you know of?
Approximately 2 years.
Okay. How is their relationship that you know?
The first year was, Steve was looking great, doing great. The past year, I don't know if she suffers from mental illness at times, but her mental state went downhill the past year.
Okay.
When you lose weight, when you're not acting right, shady stuff going on, you're not working. Yes, he was.
Okay.
And it got worse the past couple months.
Okay. You think likely that theme,
probably,
like, whatever. Okay.
Yes.
What do you think she was using?
Yeah.
Okay.
And alcohol use too.
Okay.
Yes.
Both of them with
yes.
alcohol? Okay.
Rebecca claims that Steve was struggling with drug abuse, alcohol, relationship troubles, and possibly even mental health issues. What she says about Steve's inheritance is truly eye-opening, however.
One of it.
His uncle passed away, yes. First, he said he was going to leave it to Ina, and then they were fighting, and a couple months later, he said he went back and changed the will. He told me, he was like, don't tell Ina, but I changed it.
If Ina thought that Steve might cut her out of the inheritance, she could have resorted to violence. However, police need to talk to Ina, rather than just trusting the word of a woman talking about butt-cheek demons. The woman in question starts her interview by pointing the finger at Billy and his wife, Lynn, suggesting they're the root cause of all the problems in Steve's life.
So why would you want him to stay away from Billy and Lynn?
Because they're really, really nasty people.
Okay.
Felonies, breaking into places.
Okay.
I knew they did more than pot, smoking more than pot.
Did Steve smoke more than marijuana?
No, he's allergic to marijuana.
Okay.
Me.
Did he use other drugs?
Not for the longest time.
Who was using?
No.
Okay. So
no.
He didn't.
After that, after he got the max the last time.
Yep.
He's like, screw this.
Okay.
I'm gonna just do what I want and want what I want.
Okay. So that's when he started using?
I think so.
Okay.
She knows that Steve had been using drugs long before the incident she mentions, but she lies to portray Billy as a negative influence. Adding to Ina's long list of lies, she now tells detectives that Steve never actually went to the airport to meet the lawyer since he'd been drinking all day.
Because he was drinking beer all day, he was working in the garage, he was spray painting his truck, with the doors and the windows closed, barely drinking any water.
So he consumed almost a case of beer and...
Oh, he can drink more than that.
Despite what Ina says, a blood test determined that Steve had no alcohol in his system whatsoever. Plus, she still has no explanation for the antifreeze that was detected in his body. The cops have heard enough at this point and decide to confront the suspect with the inconsistencies in her story.
I've seen him drink a couple cases.
But on that day...
Yeah, it was a case of beer.
From probably 6 or 7 in the morning until 2 in the afternoon, so 5 to 6 hours. Does that sound right?
Probably.
Okay. Did you drink anything else?
Just a glass of water and his tea. I made iced tea because he begged for iced tea.
As soon as Ina's under pressure, she starts shouting over the detective and denying hard evidence. Asking for a lawyer is the only smart thing she's done during this entire investigation, but she can't resist the temptation of one last outburst.
Am I being arrested?
Nope, you're not being arrested. We're just talking. So, but if you want a lawyer, we can stop talking right now. That's fine.
But I'm telling you the God honest truth. I don't know what happened. I wasn't there. I wish I was there. I wish I was with him every second of the day that day. I wish I watched every single, but I'm not his goddamn mom.
You asked for a lawyer, Ina, so we're just gonna end this now. Okay, I'm not gonna talk anymore. All right?
You guys are so unbelievable.
When the police searched Ina's property, they found antifreeze in a Coors Light bottle. That's right, she poisoned him. The dark glass made it hard for Steve to see the bright green liquid inside. Ina may have also mixed sweet-tasting liquid with Steve's iced tea, so he wouldn't notice anything odd when he drank. I guess Ina didn't bother to clean up the crime scene, although judging by the state of her home, cleaning isn't one of her priorities anyway. She poisoned Steve to get her hands on the inheritance money that he planned to keep from her. But here's the twist. What she didn't know was that both she and Steve had fallen for a scam. There was no money, no mysterious uncle, and no fairy tale Irish castle. Inheritance scams trick people into thinking that they're about to receive a fortune from a recently deceased relative they've never heard of. All they have to do is pay a few legal fees to access the money. If Steve had discovered the truth about his uncle Marcus, it could have saved his life. Ina was arrested and sentenced in October 2024 to 25 years in jail after a guilty plea. She may have thought she was going to live in an Irish castle, but she'll have to make do with a dingy prison. Ina Knoyer's plan to get rid of Steve Riley is probably one of the stupidest schemes you're ever likely to see. But this next case features a criminal who clearly thought of himself as some sort of evil genius. On December 14, 2023, Daniel Krug called 911 to send a police officer to check on his wife, Crystal. He hadn't been able to contact her all day, which might not be so alarming if not for the aggressive messages she'd been receiving lately. See, an ex-boyfriend named Anthony Holland had been stalking and harassing Crystal for months, so Daniel naturally wanted to make sure his wife was safe. When police arrived at the Krug household, there was no answer at the door. The officer climbed on top of his car to peek in the garage, where he saw a body lying motionless on the floor.
151, send medical, and 110, I need a 4-centric. I got a female down in the garage.
Brookfield Police! Brookfield Police!
Oh, shit. Holy shit.
In that moment, it looks like Daniel's worst fears have been realized. Despite upgrading his home security system, checking his wife's car for tracking devices, and talking to the police multiple times, he failed to protect Crystal from her violent stalker. Daniel arrives on the scene with Crystal's family already waiting outside, fearing the worst.
Okay, I need you to stay back, sir.
This is my house.
I understand. I need you to stay back here. Family's over here. Family's over here.
That was precious.
At this point, police have one obvious suspect to check out: Anthony Holland, the ex-boyfriend who used multiple online accounts to perpetrate a complex campaign of psychological torture. It must have been surprising then, when police arrived at Anthony's house, to find him clearly drunk and completely unaware of what they're talking about.
I'm going to ask you a couple of names to see if you recognize any names.
Okay.
Have you ever heard of the name Crystal Krug? She may have been Grimsrod when you knew her.
Yeah.
And do you know a Daniel Krug?
No.
No? How do you know Crystal?
She was an ex-girlfriend.
She's an ex-girlfriend? How long's the ex? Like how long ago?
1999.
Oh, so like a long while ago.
She was my very first girlfriend ever.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
When was the last time you talked to Crystal? Has it been a minute?
It's been a minute, yeah.
Like since you moved from Durango?
Yeah.
Yeah. So that would have been what, back in 2014?
Yeah.
Have you had any contact with anybody in that area since? Anybody, or have they contacted you at any time?
No.
Anthony was just drinking on his couch, blissfully unaware that he was the #1 suspect in a first-degree murder case. Time-stamped receipts and CCTV footage prove that Anthony wasn't even in the same state at the time of Crystal's attack. What the heck? Clearly, he isn't the criminal mastermind the police have been looking for. If Anthony really was innocent, then someone had been impersonating him online for months, and as the police soon discovered, the real culprit would be much closer to home than they first thought. As they begin interviewing Crystal's family, a far darker picture begins to emerge. Detectives learn that Daniel and Crystal's marriage had been about ready to collapse.
I know you said, and I kind of learned on seeing that she was married, had 3 children.
Her life was hell. We slept months and last year. Her husband and her were not in good terms. He was in complete denial. She'd tell me how he was.
Did she ever give you insight on what kind of led her to feel like her marriage was over, or?
That is explosive. But I've never seen him, hurt her. He would hurt the kids.
Crystal considered her marriage to be over, and her mother reveals a more volatile side to Daniel's personality.
But she told me he was in denial, that she told him his marriage was over, but she would stay until graduated. I have this, just a gut I can't shake with him.
What's that feeling telling you?
I can't shake this question. Is he the one that's been doing this with Anthony?
As the interview continues, she hints at a shocking new possibility. Crystal's phantom stalker, who had been making her life hell for months, could be none other than her own husband. Police started to develop a theory that Daniel was trying to intimidate Crystal to force her back into his arms. Whatever Daniel's motives were, an interview with a woman named Carrie brings everything into focus. She tells investigators that she started receiving strange messages after she ended her relationship with Daniel in college.
I started to get messages from his roommate, and that person's name is Tom, on AOL Instant Messenger. And I know Tom is real because they were roommates. If I called him, Tom would sometimes pick up the phone. They each had a joint room and a joint phone. Tom, his role, I would say, was sort of to gain sympathy from me for Dan and continue to encourage me to communicate with Dan. There was perhaps some indication that he was, because of the breakup, just really not doing well. So this, made me keep communication up with Dan. And Tom ended up being Dan, right? So all these people I'm going to tell you about end up being Dan Krug, not Tom. Yeah, even though Tom is a real person, he was not sending me these messages.
Everything that Carrie describes is eerily similar to what Crystal had to endure. She goes on to tell investigators that Daniel harassed her using multiple fake identities, but that her case lacked concrete evidence, so Daniel faced no criminal charges at the time. With Carrie's story, Anthony's airtight alibi, and the truth about Daniel's marriage, detectives decided it was time to turn up the heat.
When do your cameras go off? Do you ever have them set to turn off?
24/7.
Okay.
They don't turn off. If you lose internet or in the app, you can turn them off.
And who has the ability to turn off the cameras? Who has the ability to go in the app and turn these off?
Christine, me, and
God, it's all right. It's all right, Dan.
Home shows all four.
Oh, perfect.
Home.
Daniel looks shaken up, but in hindsight, he may be trying to buy himself some more time as he realizes that he's made a huge mistake, and he and Crystal were the only two people who could shut off the home security cameras that morning. And it certainly wasn't her. This isn't the only time Daniel slips up, as the detectives start to close the net.
One of the things that we really started looking into today in an effort to find Anthony is the Gmail. So some of that information that we've been able to receive today is a little bit concerning, I guess.
The Gmail account, the Kickman account that you guys initially received with the photo of you in it, and the phone number, those originated through their IP addresses at your office.
Doesn't make any sense. Well, he took the photo of me at my office.
Actually, it makes perfect sense. Daniel had been skulking behind the scenes all along, imitating one of Crystal's ex-boyfriends while hooked up to the Wi-Fi at his office. Detectives also found incriminating searches in his browser history, like how hard would you have to hit someone in the head to make them unconscious? This is such an unbelievable mistake that it looks like Daniel is the one who's been hit in the head a few times. As the cops lay out the facts, his evil master plan looks stupider by the second. Detectives go on to mention that Crystal's family members have suspected him all along.
What would you think, or what would you say if we told you that other people you talk to that are close to your wife expressed that she had maybe told them that she suspected you of having...
She said that right to my face, that she wanted to know if it was me. I told her no.
Even Crystal suspected that Daniel might be the one behind the messages, not Anthony. She saw the darkness in her husband and wanted to end the marriage. But by then, it was too late. He was the one who had ended his wife's life. In April 2025, Daniel was found guilty on all charges and sentenced to life in prison without the possibility of parole. I guess he wasn't the criminal genius that he thought he was. This next case is one of the most disturbing I've ever seen, not just because of the horrifying nature of the crime, but also because of the way the perpetrator managed to fool everyone for so long. Mariah Wilson was a young gravel cyclist who was starting to make a name for herself in the sport. Following a string of wins all over the country, Mariah was staying with her friend in Austin, Texas ahead of a race. Tragically though, Mariah would never make it to the starting line. As Mariah's friend, Caitlin Cash, returned to her home on May 11th, 2022, she stumbled on a horrendous sight. Mariah lay on the floor in a pool of blood. When first responders arrived, she was frantically performing CPR, unaware that her friend had passed away long before she'd even opened the door.
Do I stop?
What?
I don't know what happened. I just walked in on her.
Sit up. Okay. 1 second. Let her get up.
Yeah, get out of here.
Okay, I'll let you go so you can talk to them, okay?
Mariah Wilson had been shot 3 times, and her $14,000 gravel bike had been dumped nearby. Detectives soon identified 2 key pieces of evidence. The first was security footage of a black SUV approaching Mariah's location before the attack and leaving shortly after. The second is the fact that Mariah's friend and fellow cyclist, Colin Strickland, was the last person to see her alive. The police approached Colin the next day, and they saw something that singled him out as the investigation's first real suspect. On the right-hand side of this body cam footage, the black SUV can be seen parked in Colin's driveway.
Hey, so Colin? Yes. The first name? Yes. Hey, so do you know Anna?
Mo. Mo.
Yeah. Everybody calls her Mo.
Last name's Wilson.
Rider. She's a gravel rider.
Yes, I do.
Okay. So there's really no reason to say this. So apparently last night she passed away.
How did?
Yeah. Right now it's an open investigation, but it is being investigated as a homicide.
Clearly, Colin is in shock. And to make matters worse, he may not realize that he's the primary suspect at this point. The man told police that he and Mariah went swimming the day before, having dinner together, which was backed up by CCTV footage. However, he concealed the truth about his relationship with her. You see, Colin was in a committed relationship with a woman named Caitlin Armstrong, but he started dating Mariah when the pair were briefly separated a few months earlier. Even so, he stayed in contact with Mariah after he and Caitlin patched things up. This, coupled with the fact that the black SUV was registered to Caitlin, immediately made her a person of interest in the investigation as well. Detectives questioned Colin at the police station to gather more evidence.
So how long had you and Caitlin been dating?
About a year and a half, maybe 2 years actually.
Okay. And then how long was it that y'all had broken up whenever you and Mo got together?
Not very long, actually.
While you were dating Mo, Caitlin was still living with you?
She was moving out.
Oh, okay.
I mean, she had another house. She had a sister in town, and yeah, it was definitely very.
I was about to say that would probably be pretty.
It definitely was
awkward.
It was kind of almost like something I felt like I would like to force the situation, which is stupid.
Yeah.
But
so, why was it that you had to change the name from Mo? In your phone?
Just because because in the past Caitlin has looked at my phone, and I just didn't want to surface.
Basically, that would always start fights.
Exactly.
Basically, nobody else can have you.
Yeah.
You know. So gets kind of jealous.
Yeah,
understandable.
I mean, wasn't exactly unique to Mo.
Colin's relationship with Caitlin seemed to have some issues. It's possible that the jealous behavior that made her look through his phone had escalated into something more serious. Could she have been responsible for Mariah's demise? Police had a stroke of luck when they found Caitlin had an outstanding warrant for a completely unrelated incident. They seized this chance to take her in for questioning. Now, unfortunately, a clerical error on the warrant meant that Caitlin would soon be free to leave. With time of the essence, the detective here must tread carefully if she's going to make Caitlin talk.
You have that can kind of clear some stuff up. Does that make sense?
It makes sense. I feel like I should have an attorney present.
So that's totally your choice. So at this point, you are free to leave at any point. So this is going to be consensual at this point because you're not under arrest, okay?
Caitlin doesn't seem interested in sharing, and she's already raised the idea of getting an attorney. Nevertheless, the detective takes another swing at getting some information.
What were you doing yesterday?
I would like to leave, I think.
You'd like to leave?
Yeah.
Okay. But understand if you do, then we only have one side of the story to go on.
Mm-hmm.
And from what we're hearing from Colin, it's one side and
Well, I just am uncertain as to even what you mean or what he could have said because I didn't have any idea that he saw or went out with this girl.
Okay, yeah.
Recently.
Has he been talking to her on the side?
I would like to leave. I don't actually know, and I would like to leave.
Okay.
Caitlin has said multiple times that she wants to leave, and continuing to question her could lead to a mistrial if the case reaches the courtroom. However, she's also revealing some important information. She claims that she had no idea that Colin was meeting Mariah, and that she was unaware that they were in contact.
And your vehicle was seen next to her house, and we needed to talk about that, okay? Because when he's saying this stuff and then your vehicle is seen, I want to be able to explain, okay, there's a logical explanation for this. Maybe you were upset and you were just in the area or something. I don't know, because I don't have your story. When I can't explain that and all I see is that your vehicle's over there, that kind of makes it look not too good, right? Okay. And then when we're talking to Colin and we're hearing yeah, there was some jealousy stuff going on. Like, that doesn't sound very good. And so that's why I really want to get your side of the story, because maybe there's a lot more going on.
I would like to leave if I'm free to leave.
Okay.
I don't know about you guys, but I'm starting to get the impression that Caitlin wants to leave. Here, it's not so much what Caitlin says, but what she doesn't say that raises suspicion. I know I'd be pretty keen to prove my innocence so the cops could leave me the heck alone. Caitlin, on the other hand, offers no alibi or explanation as to why her car was seen at a crime scene. Suddenly, Caitlin becomes the #1 suspect. For now, she was free to go, but police wouldn't realize how big a mistake it was to let her leave until it was too late. When cops went to question her further, she was nowhere to be found. Caitlin stole her sister's passport and fled to Costa Rica to start a new life. This is exactly what innocent people do. She's done it, and Colin had no idea. She was dangerous. Could he have been at risk himself? While Mariah's friends and family mourned the loss of a loved one, Caitlin started teaching yoga on the beach. After evading capture for 43 days and getting plastic surgery to conceal her identity, Caitlin was eventually dragged back to Texas by the U.S. Marshals. Following one last attempt to escape justice before her trial, Caitlin was finally found guilty and sentenced to 90 years in prison. Despite fooling her boyfriend and law enforcement, Caitlin couldn't outrun the evidence. This harrowing audio of Mariah's final moments was played at her trial. Despite the GPS data, ballistics reports, and DNA placing Caitlin at the crime scene, she never admitted guilt or showed any remorse. What a monster. I'm excited for her next daring escape attempt. The first one lasted 43 days, the second about 20 seconds. Who knows what could happen next? Which of these crazy cases gave you chills? Let me know in the comments below, and thanks for watching.